All right, well, let's go to the NFL, where a pretty significant trade went down Saturday. Sources telling Adam Schefter that the Commanders are acquiring DeeBo Samuel from the Niners in exchange for a fifth-round draft pick. The deal can't formally be processed until the new league year starts on March 12th. Samuel will make $17.5 million this season on the final year of his deal. The Niners are going to take a $31.5 million dead money hit on this year's salary cap. All right, we need to get some much-needed perspective on this move that happened in the NFL. Let's bring in Lou Riddick at the Combine there in Indianapolis. All right, so DeeBo, playmaker, obviously, and you add him to what we saw last season with this Commanders offense. How do you see this thing fitting together?
Yeah, I think the possibilities, Mike, are endless. I mean, if you're Cliff Kingsbury right now, you're going, look, now I've got a multi-dimensional threat that I can line up in multiple positions. And it just makes it all the more explosive overall from the offensive standpoint, and helps out Jayden Daniels. Think about it. I mean, DeeBo can line up as a traditional running back, and you don't know if he's just going to catch passes out of the backfield or if he's going to run inside or outside zone like a normal running back. And on top of it, when you factor that in with the RPO capabilities of Jayden Daniels, much more multiple, much more down the field explosive. And on top of it, here's the kicker for me, though, Mike. DeeBo Samuel, pound for pound, may be the toughest guy in the NFL. I know he has some injury history, but the injury history comes from the fact that he has no fear in him, and he takes to fight two defenses. And that's something that's just going to help Washington and help hopefully get them over the top from their perspective in one of the toughest conferences, or rather one of the toughest divisions in football. So I absolutely love the acquisition. I think the more they can do this, the better. And I think Jayden Daniels right now is sitting there thinking, that's what I'm talking about. That now we're rolling. Now we have some more weapons to deal with that Death Star in Philadelphia that we have to somehow see if we can battle with.
And that's the thing. You wonder the leap that Daniels will take from his rookie year to his sophomore year, but you add someone like DeeBo, that leap could be exponential just because he has options. Much more from Lou coming up a little bit later. By the way, Niners fans, you do not play the Commanders next season. You don't have to see DeeBo across the field.
Not worthy. Why, you ask? There was a whole lot of talking going on between Jaden Blue and Isaiah Bond seeking to break the 40-yard dash record set by their former teammate Xavier Worthy. Listen.
I'm going to break the record tomorrow, for sure. I anticipate running 4.20, or possibly I'm feeling great, I might run 4.1.
Maybe 4.1, 4.20 though.
KO time of 4.39, 0.18 seconds short of Worthy's time. And so you know what he did? Took to Twitter and said, there's fast and then there's me. Blue and Bond showed they were not fast. At least not as fast as...
SportsCenter on the Road is presented by Geico. Our NFL analyst, Lou Riddick, is promised back with us. So at the Combine on Saturday, we had quarterbacks throw, no Cam Ward, no Shedeur Sanders. We had wide receivers in the field, no Travis Hunter, and we did have running backs. So instead of talking about what we didn't have, Lou, tell me something that was good from your eyesight in terms of player personnel.
Yeah, let's just start with quarterbacks, because that's what everyone really wants to talk about when it comes to the pre-draft run-up, and actually during this regular season as well. And let me just give you a name that not many people are talking about, but you're going to be talking about him a lot. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. And I got to see him play twice during the regular season. And just look at some of the throws that this guy makes. He's comfortable in the pocket, outside the pocket, can attack short, intermediate, and deep. And he's been coached by Jeff Brom, who's one of the best quarterback tutors in all of college football. Transfer from Miami, went to SMU, a former wide receiver who then converted to running back. He's got Alvin Kamara type skills, Jahmyr Gibbs type skills. He ran 4.3 in the 40 today, and he is just a home run waiting to happen with pass catching skills out of the backfield. You know, offenses are downfield, outside lane threat that can just run away from defenses. When you hit him on those skinny posts, they call it the bang eight when they're talking about offensive terminology. He catches this thing over the middle of the field. You ain't going to run him down. And you know every offense in the NFL covets explosive plays, plus 20, plus 30. That's what he did at Tennessee. That's what he's done his whole career. He is going to get drafted early. He is going to be a guy who we're going to be talking about on SportsCenter and NFL Live next year. There's just a lot of speed at this Combine this year, a lot of big playability. I just can't wait until we get to the draft in Green Bay and see where it all winds up on which teams and how they utilize them all.
And that's the thing. You see all this talent at the Combine, but then where does it end up to begin that NFL career? It's always the most intriguing part for me. Coming up on Sunday, it's the offensive lineman on Showcase.
To the NFL, where DeeBo's taking his beach cruiser and riding to D.C. San Fran trading DeeBo Samuel. It can't be processed until the league year begins March 12th. Samuel's got 1 year left on his current deal for $17 million plus. The Commanders will pay that now. Louis Riddick explains what DeeBo can bring to D.C.
You're Cliff Kingsbury right now. You're going, look, now I've got a multi-dimensional threat that I can line up in multiple positions. And it just makes it all the more explosive overall from the offensive standpoint, and helps out Jayden Daniels. Think about it. I mean, DeeBo can line up as a traditional running back, and you don't know if he's just going to catch passes out of the backfield or if he's going to run inside or outside zone like a normal running back. And on top of it, when you factor that in with the R multiple, much more down the field explosive. So I absolutely love the acquisition. I think the more they can do this, the better. And I think Jayden Daniels right now is sitting there thinking, that's what I'm talking about. That now we're rolling. Now we have some more weapons to deal with that Death Star in Philadelphia that we have to somehow see if we can battle with.
Death Star. Okay. Well, DeeBo's all about that yak, not that yak, but one of the best in the game with yards after the catch.
I don't know.
Yeah, his 8.1 average yak leads all receivers with at least 50 receptions last season, and he's one of 4 players with at least 3,000 yards after the catch since he entered the league back in 2019. A lot of attention in his workout. How likely is it that he goes in the first round of the NFL draft?
Ryan, I think the chances are trending upward. I know our buddy Field Yates had him at 21 in his most recent mock draft to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that range is very possible after, like you said, after the Dart show on Saturday night. I mean, he did look fantastic here. And I think it's also like the New York Jets or the Las Vegas Raiders can't find a quarterback in free agency or in the top 10 picks of this year's draft. So every step along the way in this process, Dart has been where he's needed to be as a passer, and now we'll get to see it as pro day what he can do.
Yeah, it feels like every year people are saying only a few quarterbacks going in the first round, and then they start rising up the draft board. That's what happens when you talk about the most valuable position on the field. Now, wideouts also working out. There was a golden performance and a workout that shouldered the burden. Who stood out?
We got to start with Luther Burden from Missouri, one of the best players in the country over the past 3 years. He saw his production drop this past season for the Tigers, but he had a Texas's go-to wide receiver, especially after Isaiah Bond got hurt. He clocked out. He ran the 4.29. He put the hoodie back on, but that was all he needed to do after such a strong junior season for the Longhorns last year.
Wow, not quite Xavier-worthy numbers, but still, that's fast. And his 9 touchdown catches in 2024.
Snap, here comes DeeBo. After 6 years in San Francisco, DeeBo, a 2021 All-Pro receiver to be opposite Terry McLaurin. Samuel, in the final year of a 3-year extension, he signed with the 49ers, and Washington will be paying the entirety of his $17.5 million salary this season. Let's get to a man in Indianapolis who knows a thing or two about wheeling and dealing. Mike Tannenbaum, our front office insider. Mike T, great to see you. How much does this trade elevate what DC's doing?
Gary, this is a great step for the Washington Commanders. When you have a young quarterback on a rookie contract like the Commanders do with Jayden Daniels, keep adding veteran, productive players. As you mentioned, DeeBo Samuel is only 29 years old. Very reasonable price at $17.5 million. I'm sure he'll want an extension, but he's tough. He's strong. He's extremely Ryan Robinson, good runner. This is an ideal start to the Commanders' offseason.
The Commanders getting better, and that's saying a lot for a team who was in the NFC Championship game just a couple of months ago. So probably some more trades ahead of teams who need some quarterbacks, this being the last day of the Combine. The offensive linemen are showing out today. What should teams do now that Matthew Stafford is unavailable? Mike T, let's start with the Giants.
Gary, trade up for number 1 and go get Cam Ward.
Wow.
Cam Ward's the best quarterback in this draft. Completed over 67% of his passes, threw for 4,300 yards, 39 touchdowns. And if I'm the New York Giants, if my offensive line can stay healthy, which is a big if, I think this is a really good fit. They hit big on Malik Neighbors, but they need a franchise quarterback. And to me, Cam Ward's the ideal fit, and he can handle the New York media. Now, if I'm the Raiders, I do the opposite. I go sign Aaron Rodgers, and here's why. You need stability. You go sign a 73-year-old coach in Pete Carroll. You go against Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix, and Justin Herbert. Go get Aaron Rodgers. They have Brock Bowers, which is one piece. And then if while you're in the draft, if, let's say, Jaxson Dart or Shedeur Sanders falls to you, that's good as well. But at least Rodgers is a stabilizing signing to begin the offseason.
Vegas has to do something. One winning season in the last 8 years. Mike T joining us from Indy. Thanks.
Putting in that dart work at the Combine.
That's good.
Ole Miss quarterback. You like that?
That's good.
Yeah, you'll like this, man. Look at this. Look at that. It's good writing. Look at draft boards as of late. So our NFL analyst Jordan Reed is with us from Indy, putting in some long days at the NFL Combine. Jordan, Jaxson Dart was the highest ranked quarterback to work out. How did he look to you?
Yeah, he looked great from everything that I saw. I was sitting right on the 50-yard line, right beside all these guys throwing the ball, and I wanted to see who was going to step up with Shedeur Sanders and then also Cam Ward not participate. Scouts that I talked to said the second round still seems to be a fair projection for him, but don't be surprised if a team trades up into the back end of the first round for Jaxson Dart.
Yeah, people always put a premium on quarterbacks. A lot of teams need them. Now, by the way, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward didn't throw, but looking like the best of the bunch in the throwing drills yesterday bodes well for Dart's chances to move up draft boards. Now, he wasn't the only standout. Wideouts, running backs were featured too. Who else shined, starting with wide receivers?
We're going to go to Texas with Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden, and he only ran the 40, but he ran a blistering 4.29, which was Carolina. You talk about somebody that looks the part at 6 foot, 221 pounds. I thought he was terrific yesterday, and he's another guy that was absolutely outstanding in the workout. He showed his underrated quality of being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. I look at the Broncos at 20, the Chargers at 22 overall, and even the Minnesota Vikings at 24 overall. Amarian Hampton solidified himself as a first-round running back.
Yeah, this running back class is looking good. By the way, Hampton put up over 3,100 yards rushing past 2 seasons at UNC, second only to Ashton Genty, another top running back in the class. Jordan, thanks so much.
Hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn cách làm một chiếc áo len đơn giản cho búp bê nha. Đầu tiên sẽ chuẩn bị những cái phần len như thế này. Mình dùng 3 màu sắc len nha mọi người. Hồng này, trắng này, xanh này. Mình kết hợp lại nha. Các bạn cũng có thể dùng các màu sắc khác nhé. Không bắt buộc dùng màu giống mình đâu. Mọi người chuẩn bị cho mình kim để móc len. Và kéo để cắt nhé. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt tay vào làm. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ sử dụng cái phần len màu xanh này trước đây. Mọi người sẽ gỡ